Welcome to this episode of the B2B Marketers on a Mission podcast, and I'm your host, Christian Klepp. Today, I'll be talking to Aya Saad. She is the Partnerships Team Director and Project Manager at Vivian Agency, an influencer and affiliate marketing agency. Aya is also a skilled project manager who excels in affiliate programs and combines expertise in business growth, marketing, and client services. Tune in to find out more about what this B2B Marketer's mission is. Okay, here we are. Aya Saad, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's great to be connected, Aya. I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I think there's a lot of untapped opportunities in B2B when it comes to this particular topic. So
Sure.
let's dive in. So you are on a mission to build communities for brands by connecting ambassadors and their audiences to products. So for this conversation, let's focus on the following topic: how to launch and manage affiliate and influencer programs for B2B. So let's kick off the conversation with this question, right? So what do you think is the untapped opportunity for B2B regarding affiliate and influencer programs? Maybe we start out by explaining what that is, because maybe some people out there are not familiar with it.
Sure. So having an affiliate or an influencer program is basically having people who have a network of potential customers that fit your target persona, promote your product, and earn commissions from doing that. So every time they sell your product or they provide you with a qualified lead, depending on your compensation structure, and I think we're gonna mention that a little bit down the line when we dive more into the B2B. Um, they earn commissions per sale or per qualified lead. So that's essentially the concept of affiliate and influencer marketing, is having people representing your brand and reaching potential customers that you cannot reach in typical ways. I'd say untapped opportunities. So I don't really see a lot of B2B affiliate programs. I mean, it's getting there, but it's not there yet compared to B2C. I think the whole thing is still an untapped opportunity, but off of the top of my head, I'd say actually utilizing niche influencers and thought leaders in your niche and in your industry to promote your product to their networks. They have the reach to those decision makers that you're seeking after as a B2B company or as a B2B product. So utilizing them and having partnerships with them can really have a huge impact. Another thing is actually, and this might be a bit unusual, but employee advocacy. Turning your own employees with their networks into micro influencers who share content and can create an authentic reach and experience about your product to potential customers as well. I'd say another thing also that a lot of B2B companies overlook is what we call long tail affiliates. And by that, I mean the much, much smaller affiliates, like a very small blog or a very small community or a very specific industry newsletter. These actually prove to have a much higher conversion rate just because they are very targeted towards your niche. And it's a very closed community and it's kind of close knit, and people actually follow it and remain up to date with it. And it could be a great potential opportunity for you to market for your products. One final thing also I see it's overlooked a lot are co-marketing opportunities. So basically, as a brand, you can partner with a brand that's complementary to yours and create either special offerings or promote each other in a different way. Um, these types of co-partnerships would actually put your product within um, reach for customers that you couldn't reach otherwise. And also, it doesn't really mean that you are in competition. There is no direct competition. You're just complementary brands that serve the same audience, and you're working together to promote both of your products.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. And I think there are some really great points that you brought up here, and I think it's worth going back and unpacking them a bit more for the benefit of the audience that is, as I said before, not very familiar with affiliate or influencer programs. Let's start with the first thing that you said, talking about the untapped opportunities and utilizing influencers to promote companies' products or maybe even solutions, right? So, what would you say to B2B customers if you bring this up as a proposed strategy and they look at you with raised eyebrows and say, well, isn't that more of a consumer facing tactic? Isn't that more for like B2C? Why would you even suggest that for B2B? Like, how do you handle that kind of objection? I don't know if you've ever encountered that before, but like, how would you deal with that?
How I typically see it is that the concept of affiliate and influencer marketing can be applied regardless of your business model, whether it's B2C or B2B. The whole point of affiliate marketing is getting your product in front of the people who can potentially buy it. And the key to doing that is finding the people who have reached to those customers or potential customers. And while it may look a lot different for B2B, like I wouldn't go after an Instagram influencer, for example, to promote a high tech solution for enterprises, but I can find someone who is a thought leader in that industry and can be able to recommend that product to other decision makers. So it's really about finding the right people to get your product in front of those customers. And that's it. This is the whole concept behind it. And this can be applied whether it's a B2C or a B2B product.
Okay, okay, that's fair. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Um, Okay. So another point that you brought up was on the topic of employee advocacy, which I totally agree with. I think this is really there can be really a gold mine here if it's done the right way. But I think more often than not in B2B, uh let me see if I can phrase this properly. There might be hesitation on the side of employees to push themselves out as the face of the brand, right? And that's what's needed also as part of employee advocacy. So how would you go about helping a client that wants to push this out, but perhaps they have employees that are not really entirely bought into the concept?
So it's actually the same way that we reach out to typical B2C influencers or typical potential affiliates in general. It's the compensation. If they think that this is something that would properly compensate them and they see that this is something that's going to earn them money with, I'd say, a few posts that they make or a few networking opportunities that they attend, if you really put your offer out there to them in the right way and actually structure that offer very properly in the beginning to ensure that it's attractive, then you got a deal. And 90% of the time, no one really says no to money and the potential to earn and grow. Because why not? Like instead of you just having your typical salary as our employee. On top of that, you could earn commissions on every contract you bring us, and you could earn commissions on every qualified lead you bring us, or on every booked call. And this is something that's on top of them using things that they already do. So when I would target those employees, I would pick ones who already have some I'd say their LinkedIn profile has a lot of connections. They've already posting regularly. They have a lot of engagement. So someone you're already doing that. So why not actually utilize it to earn extra money?
Yeah, absolutely. Money talks, huh? So,
Yeah.
no, but you're absolutely right, and it was good that you brought that up. That there are certain criteria that these people have to fulfill. It's not just okay, you're an employee of the organization, and then there you go, you can be an employee advocate, right? They have to have a certain number of followers. I'm assuming they have to already be putting content out there. The content, and I think most importantly, it's not just about putting content out there. I mean, there's people that work at companies that are just putting company content out, right?
Yeah,
They have to put out content that is getting good engagement as well, right? So that's how they
exactly.
build up the followers. Okay, fantastic. The third one, which I think is extremely interesting because I've done this in the past as well, is partnering with other companies whose services are probably complementary to yours, and there can be a lot of benefits to doing that. For B2B companies out there that are thinking about doing this but have not done it before, what advice would you give them about how to approach this?
First thing is don't be scared to do it. This actually has been one of the most successful approaches overall, just because as someone who is a higher up decision maker, and I'm looking for viable options for my company, whether it's, let's assume it's in tech, for example, and I see this SaaS option that I was really looking at is also featured and is collaborating with something that I'm already using, for example, like the project management tool that the whole company uses recommends that SaaS for this specific service or for this specific solution. And then this is an immediate trust that's gained in that product. And I would definitely put that higher up on my options when comparing it to others. Second thing, also, if they have like some sort of collaboration opportunities where it's they would offer companies who use both like a certain type of discount, or if you buy this, then you get a free month of that, and vice versa. Something like that. These Everyone is looking to cut down on costs in the technology they use, for example, or anything basically that serves their company. And having these things like a one thing fits all, one thing that has all the solutions that I need, it's a no-brainer that they would go for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely no one size fits all, right? It depends on the
Yeah,
vertical, depends on what stage the company is at.
of course.
Have they done this before? Is this their first time? So there's a lot of factors to take into consideration, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's move on to the next question, and this list can get quite exhaustive, but try to just go at it from a top level point of view. Okay, so tell us a bit about the do's and don'ts of affiliate and influencer marketing, specifically when it comes to B2B.
I wouldn't actually specify something for B2B. This is something that I recommend in affiliate and influencer marketing overall. The very first thing that you need to do when you're starting affiliate and influencer marketing is having a proper plan and strategy in place. Um, this just plans out everything that you want to do, what you want to achieve, who are your target in terms of influencers and affiliates, what do you expect from them, how will you compensate them, do you have room for bonuses, do you have room for a tiered type of commissions, for incentives. All of this, don't go in without planning and just launch an affiliate program and say, hey, I'll give you this amount if you promote my product. No, have a proper plan, and also niche down. Target people who are most engaged in your niche and are good representatives of your brand. Do not open this to everyone. As we mentioned, for example, for the employee advocacy, we wouldn't just offer this to everyone, but we would offer it to someone, for example, who has pretty good content on their LinkedIn profile. They have the connections and they're already posting and they've built their engagement. So don't be too general when you're offering the affiliate and influencer marketing opportunity, just because um, not everyone will be able to reach your target customer, and this is the whole point of it. So just seek the people who can put your product in front of the people who would buy it. Um, third thing I would say, affiliate and influencer marketing are long term partnerships. So do not settle for, okay, I recruited that person and they promoted me once or twice and they've driven to me a couple of good leads or a couple of sales, and that's it. This is a long term partnerships, and you need to put your side of effort in order to maintain that partnership. Because if your offer goes out of date at some point and another company is offering something better, then the affiliate is just going to move on to someone else and start promoting them more than they are promoting you. Last thing would be to prioritize the platforms and narrow down the channels first where your B2B buyers are at. So, LinkedIn, industry specific blogs, professional communities, narrow down those channels first. And I would also recommend actually looking at how your customers learned about you in the first place. So, your existing customers, how did they find you? This would give you insights on what channels do they follow, and probably if you're at a phase where you've already done some marketing overall, you're probably mentioned in a few blogs, and you have some things out there, so social media and all of that. So knowing and learning how your customers, your current customers, found you is also key to targeting who are the influencers and potential affiliates that you want to target.
Okay, no, that's a really great list. And what about the don'ts? Like, what shouldn't you do?
The very first thing I always say when it's when I'm asked about don'ts is, do not go after a number of followers or the reach. don't go after that. Go after the engagement instead. And go after the relevance. Relevance is everything when it comes to affiliate and influencer marketing. Because if you find someone with a lot of followers and your product is just not relevant to the rest of their content, it doesn't look authentic, it doesn't look organic, then it's just not going to work. It's not going to perform. So this is my biggest don't go after a big follower number. Go after engagement, go after relevance.
Absolutely, absolutely. So don't chase the vanity metrics, right? Like as we say
Exactly.
as we say in podcasting, don't always look at the number of downloads and subscribers, and especially in B2B. Like, do you really need 100,000 followers? Right? Questionable. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing, and it's the same thing for B2B. I mean, I'm just going to give an example. Let's say you're doing an influencer marketing initiative for a company that's selling like automotive spare parts. Do they need 200,000 followers? Questionable. All right.
Very questionable.
Okay.
How
Mm,
many of those 200,000 followers are actually going to buy your
right.
product, actually need it?
Right. Right.
Probably a fraction.
Right. Oh, you just made me think of another like follow-up question, Aya. And I don't know if you've dealt with this before. I'm assuming you have, but what's your take on those that are trying to push out artificial engagement there? Because you did say like don't focus on the vanity metrics, but it's just human nature. Some people just cannot help themselves because they need to show impressive numbers to somebody higher up, and then they resort to this type of tactic. But what's your advice to these people?
So my advice is that if you want something that converts at the end of the day and actually brings in the sales, then focus on the engagement and the relevance. If you just are looking for exposure, we do collaborate with like really big influencers and 100K plus, but for these types of campaigns, I don't really focus on sales. I'm not seeking sales. I'm not seeking the engagement. I'm seeking the exposure that I could get from that campaign. So if you are after the follower count, and you want that exposure, then this is just it. Your goal for that campaign is exposure, not affiliate sales or not affiliate referrals. Of course, there are a lot of influencers who do have a high number of followers along with the engagement because they really worked into the platform. So these would work on both sides, both the sales and also the exposure.
Mm, mm, absolutely, absolutely. You brought it up when you were talking about the do's for affiliate marketing and influencer marketing, but talk to us about the importance of conducting the right research and having the right strategy in place before you implement any campaigns. Like, what is why is it so important to do all that due diligence up front?
The importance of doing the due diligence upfront is it actually minimizes your failures down the line. So and it doesn't mean that you're not going to fail at all. There are going to be failures and there are some things that are just not going to work out for you. But having a good, solid strategy, having a good system, having done your research and targeting the people that you actually think that they can reach your target audience, and you also have some data to back this up, does put you on the road to success. When you go in and not knowing what you're doing or without a plan, you're basically just asking everyone who is interested in earning from this product to promote your product. And then you might end up having like a couple of people who are selling or doing a few sales here and there, but this is not scalable and it's not productive down the line.
Good. I did have another follow-up question, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot here, but I think I think it's important for B2B marketers to understand this, especially those that are thinking about doing influencer or affiliate marketing. At some point, they have to go to the senior management of their company and try to like pitch this to them. And one of the hesitations, or I think the objections that most likely is going to come back is, well, we've never done this before. How do we know that it's going to work? Right. So how do you address those doubts? Because I'm sure they have them in B2C as well, right?
Yeah. Typically, what we do in these cases, we do provide case studies of similar models. And I know this might be a bit on the rare side for B2B businesses. It might not be as feasible. but it really helps the decision maker to actually visualize the process. So basically, I wouldn't just tell them, hey, we're gonna get those influencers and they're gonna promote us. No, I would find an example, a really solid example of the type of influencer that I'm thinking of in my strategy and say, hey, look at their posts. Look how much engagement they're getting. Look at what type of people are actually engaging with them. This CEO commented on their post and he's interested in his insights. This CEO has been engaging a lot with that person, etc. And this is helping the decision maker visualize what their brand can do in that dynamic would really help them make the decision.
Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Okay. So I call this one the Lego question, right? So break it down for us. What are some of these key components? And you've mentioned some of them already. What are some of these key components that you need in order to have a successful um, affiliate or influencer campaign?
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but again, research,
Yeah.
research,
Yeah.
research.
Yeah.
Do proper research and have a solid strategy. And your strategy should include who you're targeting and also how you can compensate them. And into the compensation structure, you really need to account for um, not having a stale compensation structure, meaning that you need to always provide growth opportunities to these affiliates, or otherwise, as I mentioned, they're going to go elsewhere. Also, your strategy needs to be solid but flexible. You need to have a concrete steps of what you're going to do next, and targeting these people for this reason, etc. But it also needs to be flexible, and it needs to be adaptable so that you can take the data of the actual results you've achieved and apply it and tweak that strategy and improve it accordingly. Another thing would be to be consistent with your outreach. So you need to do really consistent outreach, proper follow ups, be super organized with what you're doing, what your choice of words is, what you're saying, how you're representing your product, how you're pitching your offer to those potential affiliates and influencers, because it makes all the difference. Also ensuring that you have dedicated and consistent support to your affiliates, because again, this is even more important than compensation, because the if the partners feel like their questions are not answered, their um, needs are not being met, they're being neglected, they're just going to go elsewhere as well. So it's not only about the money, but actually providing resources and proper support to those affiliates. You providing that resource is actually making them believe it even more that you're setting them up for success. Always have room for bonuses, incentives, and growth opportunities. Again, in your compensation structure, you need to account for that from the very beginning. You don't really want to go too high with what you're offering, and you don't want to be too low. You need to be moderate, but also have proper incentives. Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere in the middle. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like what you said about allocating the right resources, but also having like that dedicated point of contact. And I think that applies across the board. That's not just for affiliate or influencer marketing, right? Like there needs to be a person that's responsible for working with, let's call them partners, right? Um, they probably all have these FAQs, these questions that that they need answers to, and there needs to be somebody on the company's side that's going to help them and make them feel like, okay, you know, yes, you are working for us and on behalf of our company and our brand, but we are also here to support you to ensure that you will be successful because your success is definitely in our interest, right?
Exactly.
Okay. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna. I just have to pull up another question again, and it's not to put you on the spot, but I think it's look, it's 2025, and you know it wouldn't make sense to avoid this question, right? So, um, AI, right? How have you seen that? How have you seen artificial intelligence impact affiliate or influencer marketing? And I'm not when I say impact, I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way. It can be constructive as well, right? But what's your take on that?
It depends. Are you asking about the AI influencer trend that we have recently been seeing, or are you asking about AI technology to help with affiliate and influencer marketing in general?
Both,
Okay.
both.
Um, so regarding the influencer, I really don't mind the concept because if they have the reach to the right customers again, it's fine. Whether it's AI or not, it's fine. With technology, I definitely say that finding and recruiting affiliates and influencer marketing has definitely improved with the help of a lot of AI tools. And I don't mean the basic ones, but there are super specific platforms for influencer marketing, and they do utilize AI technology in terms of filtering, finding with certain keywords. And this really helps narrow down the people that you want to contact and makes your work overall more efficient.
Yeah, I suppose if it helps you to save time, makes the work more
Yeah,
efficient, like you said with the research. Like for example, instead of spending hours going through, let's say, a search engine looking for those specific influencers, if AI can help you to filter them out yeah, filter out, I think is the right word. Like you tag them or you put in certain prompts or keywords that you're looking for an influencer in this specific industry and probably with this many followers. This is the budget range, so you start narrowing it down a little bit, right? And
exactly.
if you can do that search within, well, seconds, uh, minutes instead of hours, then yes, by all means, right?
Yeah, I would say though that I don't think that we're still at a level where you can completely depend on those results. So one thing, for example, that we do is that we always hand pick the influencers or the potential affiliates. So
Yeah,
while we do utilize influencer marketing tools to kind of narrow down the millions of influencers out there to match specific criteria, we still put in the time to handpick, check the content, and make sure that this is actually 100% fit for the product that we're seeking them for.
right. Yeah, no, absolutely. It requires human intervention at the end of the day. Don't rely 100%
Yeah.
on AI. Yeah. No, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, Aya, we get to the point in the conversation where we're talking about actionable tips, and you've given us quite a bit already, right? But just imagine there's somebody out there that's listening to this conversation between you and I, and they want to start implementing this right away. What are some, let's say, 3 to 5 things that you would advise them to do and take action on right now with regards to affiliate or influencer marketing?
All right. So I would put them basically, I would say what we've just discussed into action items. So, first thing that you want to do is do your proper research, and that research is also really deep diving into your customer personas and where your customers are reachable online and offline. That's a very important thing to build your strategy on. And then, of course, building your strategy. And the strategy would not only be who you're targeting, but also the compensation structure. Um, I'd say that for B2C, it's very easy to put a cost per action compensation structure, but it's a bit different for B2B because many of the products are not something that's shoppable or that you would click here to subscribe or buy and pay immediately. It's especially if the product is like something that's customizable or has a different pricing for every company and depending on their needs and all of that. So I'd say the most common compensation structure for B2B would be cost per lead, where basically the affiliates are um, doing lead acquisition for you, and then your sales team would in turn close them. And then it depends. You could still pay per lead, or you could pay per qualified lead, so CPQL, where you have a certain criteria, and if the lead matches all of that criteria, it does. And you could also do a small payment for the lead itself, or you could, and then if the lead actually converts, you end up giving them a percentage from the total of the contract. And this, I think, something would be of most interest, especially for higher ticket affiliates who would be really narrowing down on the quality for you, and getting you those deals that has high potential to convert. After that, you really need to identify a system um, of how this would work. Whether you would have like a tracking system on your website or even a Google form, but you need to have a proper system to be able to track your campaigns properly. And then also, you need to have a lot of transparency with your affiliates. They need to be able to view everything they have brought in, what converted, what did not, and all of this data needs to be very transparently communicated to affiliates. And then after these three things are settled and you have like a plan already, you start identifying the potential affiliates and getting contact information based on your strategy, and you plan a multi-channel outreach strategy and launch your program. Or you could come to us at Vivian Agency and save yourself all the time, and we'll do all of that for you.
That was the point of this whole exercise.
Yeah.
No, but thank you for sharing that. You've actually unpacked a lot there. Let me just quickly recap for the benefit of the audience. So, of course, doing your proper research is the first step. Then building a strategy which includes your compensation, identifying a system of how this would work, and fourth is identifying potential affiliates, and then start reaching out to them. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, I'm going to move us on to the next question, which I call the love it or hate it question: metrics. At some point, and you've talked about it already, but at some point, B2B marketers have to prove that these initiatives are working to somebody. And when I say prove that they are working, I mean that in numerical form, right? So, what type of metrics from a top level point of view, once again, because I know this can get quite granular, but what are some top level metrics they should be paying attention to when it comes to affiliate and influencer marketing?
I would actually divide that into four categories. So first category would be just top of the funnel, which is maybe you could measure it by website traffic or the content engagement or the impact that this content had. So maybe if this certain influencer tagged you on social media, you gained 100 followers that day and you see the impact of the content. So this is like top of the funnel. And then middle of the funnel would be the quality of the leads. That the affiliate is driving to you. And this is something I'd say more specifically B2B. For B2C, I'd say the quality of the sales, meaning that they're not resulting in a lot of refunds and they're not, of course, something that's fraudulent sale or something like that. So the quality of the leads or sales that they're driving to you. And then bottom of the funnel would be the conversion rates. So how many of the leads that they've driven to you actually booked demos or made a sale and actually ended up getting a contract with your company. And then finally would be retention and return on investment. So this also maybe would relate a bit to the lead quality. And then for the retention, what's the lifetime value of the customers that are acquired through that channel? So is that affiliate bringing you a customer that's going to contract you for 1 year or 3 years or just 3 months? What's the lifetime value for that customer? Because this affects the return on investment. Because if you pay them that amount, but in return you're earning X amount, then that's a good investment. So it's kind of how I would measure it. And then overall partner performance on an individual level, I always look at that on a very individual level and what channels they're utilizing, because these are the type of insights that I need to change my strategy and tweak my strategy in order to continuously improve what I'm doing.
Thanks for sharing that. And I'm going to tell you right now that there are two metrics that you just mentioned that the senior management and the board are going to care about, and nothing more.
Yeah, of course.
Conversion and retention and ROI. Everything else is going
Yeah,
to go right, like.
true.
But
True.
no, but you're absolutely right, and I was kind of anticipating that the answer was going to be a little bit more detailed, because there are so many different areas to look at, so many different attributes to measure, and it's depending on what stage of the marketing funnel the leads find themselves in, right, or the campaign. Hmm.
Yeah, I would say that the bottom and middle of the funnel are just more of, maybe the decision makers wouldn't really care about those,
Mm-hmm.
but they're really important for whoever is running the affiliate and influencer program, because they are also insightful on how this is going to progress. So if I'm seeing that the content from this specific affiliate has had no engagement at all, no impact whatsoever, then I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on similar affiliates, but instead I'm going to shift my strategy to others and so on.
Well, absolutely. And it's going back to a point you raised earlier in the conversation, right? To keep that strategy flexible, not be too focused on one aspect of the entire campaign or the entire initiative, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, Aya, please get up on your soapbox. Um, what is a status quo in your area of expertise that you passionately disagree with, and why?
Because we're mainly talking about B2B,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty obvious what I'm just about to say right now, but many B2B companies believe that influencer marketing is only for B2C, and they really passionately believe that this is the case, and it's really not. Um, at the end of the day, from my perspective, and why I really disagree with that is that people buy from people, and people prefer authentic experiences, and influencer and affiliate marketing bridges that gap. So it just creates this instant trust when I see someone I follow or someone I'm connected with promoting this product that I maybe was hesitant a couple weeks ago in trying or buying. And this applies in the professional and B2B setting as well.
I totally agree with that. It's it's the same when you're talking about B2B podcasting, right? Like it's the same. Like people are always asking first about, okay, how many downloads, how many subscribers, and like, do you really need, again, I brought this up earlier, right? Do you need 100,000 followers? If you
Yeah,
are a podcast, say for example, that is focusing on aeronautics engineers, that's a micro niche, right?
yeah,
If you get 300 people and all of them are in that particular vertical, then I think you've already achieved your goal, right? So it's the
exactly.
same, right? It's the same. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, now here comes the bonus question, and not many people know this, but you're the first person that I've interviewed on this show who's from Egypt, right? And I think
Okay.
you're also are you based in Alexandria? Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am.
yeah. So fun fact, there was the lighthouse of Alexandria, which was built a long time ago, and it crashed into the sea during an earthquake, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
True.
Yeah. So when people outside of Egypt think of your country, the first thing that comes to mind, sorry, pyramids and mummies, right?
Yeah.
So what is one thing about Egypt you wish um, people around the world knew more about, and why?
Um, I'm really proud of the fact that people do identify immediately with the pyramids and the mummies and the very rich culture that we have. But there's also more to that. Um, we have a lot more than just that culture. And many times I feel like people are just stuck in that point of time where we had the pyramids and the amazing museums and all of that. And we still have them, of course, but there is way more to Egypt than that. Brilliant people out there, brilliant developments. And I wish that people would not really look at Egyptians or at Egypt just from the micro lens of seeing the pyramids and that's it. There is a lot more to Egypt than that.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. So you don't want people to just, when they think of Egypt, they think of antiquity, right?
Yeah,
Ancient times.
exactly. And we've evolved since then.
Oh,
Like,
I'm sure you have.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. It's just
Mhm.
that sometimes people don't really believe that. They think, for example, that Cairo or Giza is
Mhm.
just the area where the pyramids is, and
Right.
that's it. And Cairo is like huge. It's a huge city, and has a lot of different people,
Yeah. Is it?
and places and everything.
Yeah. Exactly. I think I read it somewhere. Isn't Cairo the city with the largest population on the African continent?
Yeah, I believe
I
so.
think so. Right. And you also have a very
Yeah,
yeah. Egypt also has a very large young population, right?
that's true.
Which is also a very
That's
interesting
true.
statistic. Which also means that you have a larger younger population that is internet savvy, right?
Yeah, true.
Right. So there's a lot of benefits to that as well, right?
Yeah. And I feel like definitely the internet has helped with that
Hmm.
and social media and having a ton of social media influencers representing Egypt and the culture and everything else out there to the world definitely made a difference on educating people and just giving them the insights that we go beyond the culture. It's not we're not all revolving around the pyramids and
Sure.
riding camels in the desert, there is, we've
Absolutely.
evolved after that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aya, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been such a fun but also very informative conversation. So thanks again for your time. Um, Please, quick introduction to yourself and how people can get in touch with you. And one last question: how does somebody with a degree in pharmacology, um, find herself in the world of affiliate and influencer marketing?
Okay, yeah, it's a funny story actually. So, uh, for everyone, my name is Aya, and I'm Egyptian, and I do have a degree in clinical pharmacy from Alexandria University. And I've started working in marketing as early as this my second year in college. I just wanted to be more independent, and just went out there and took the first job I got. But it just developed from that. So after a few years working in companies, I decided to work as a freelancer, and I started teaching myself different um, things and skills. And I actually landed the job as an outreach manager, which led to me also falling into affiliate and influencer marketing, and it kind of stuck there. I thought that this is something that I'm really passionate about and I believe in, and it worked out from there. So I've been doing affiliate and influencer marketing for a little bit over 4 years now. And as I mentioned, I started as a self-taught freelancer, but now I'm partnership director at Vivian Agency, where we connect ambassadors where we connect brands with their communities through affiliate and influencer marketing, or ambassadors as well. And yeah, you can reach me at aya@vivianagency.com. That's my email. And you can also visit vivianagency.com, book a call with us, or just fill out the contact form and I'll be in touch.
Fantastic, fantastic. A true Renaissance woman in every regard.
Thanks.
Once again, Aya, thank you so much for your time. Shukran. I'm sorry, that's as far as my Arabic goes.
No, that's actually pretty good. Not bad at all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks
Thank you.
again, and take care, stay safe, and talk to you soon.
Talk soon. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.